Hello and welcome to the Killer Bits at Rezzed. I'm Rick and I'm here with James, who is a big part of Salvaged, a game which I've been looking at and looks really interesting. So let's talk about it. It's a squad-based game played through a tablet on a top-down perspective. I've already drawn the Space Hulk comparison. I mean, that was obviously, it must have been an influence at some point. What were the other influences?
Space Hulk's an obvious one, but also things like Captive and Syndicate and kind of classic Amiga era games, Hired Guns, all of those. And also more recently things like XCOM and weirdly Spelunky informs quite a lot of the metagame.
Fantastic. I love weird inspirations are the best inspirations for games. It looks quite well polished. I know you guys were just saying that like not everything's in yet. Is it still a long road to go? Are you showing early models?
Oh yeah, this is the culmination of kind of about 8 weeks' work really in terms of actually putting together this particular build of the game. We had an earlier prototype which we kind of scrapped at the end of last year and kind of built again afresh with kind of production in mind. So yeah, we're way off. It'll be kind of the end of the year for release. Really, so this is a kind of vertical slice which we've really polished up what's there, but there's a whole load of extra things to go in there in terms of controlling the team, extra graphical polish, and really all of the metagame has to go in already as well.
So, well, as a proof of concept, like I'm really behind this. The whole sort of using a tablet as a controller thing, it's something that certainly a lot of the new consoles, and I'm specifically Wii U is something that very much tried to implement, but PC-wise it's not really been done. I saw it done in Artemis, which I've played quite a lot of, and it's nice to see it done again. But do you think that's going to alienate people who maybe don't have one?
Possibly, but we're being as open as possible. You can play it on iOS and Android, and you can play it on your phone as well as your tablet. Particularly these days, phone screens are getting sufficiently big that it's not really a problem. And even like the iPhone 5, which is quite compact, it is a perfectly serviceable game. So the people who are going to get into it are probably going to have one or more of those devices kicking around anyway. And most of the processing is done on the PC, so you can run on quite a low-end tablet as well. You can spend 90 quid on one in supermarket and you'll be able to run the game if you need to buy something to play it on.
Okay, brilliant. Well, that's nice that it's more accessible than it originally looks. With regards, obviously, on a programming side of things, are you developing basically two versions of the game, one that runs on a mobile platform and then one that runs on the PC, or is there some clever techno wizardry going on behind the scenes there?
It's all one project essentially, but with different scenes set up for the different devices. The main game is deployed for the PC, and the other game is deployed for the mobile devices. And then they talk to each other using One Touch Connect, which is a piece of tech that we've developed in-house to enable discovery basically between different platforms.
So it's going to need to run over a Wi-Fi connection or Bluetooth or something like this?
At the moment it uses Wi-Fi, so any devices that are on the same Wi-Fi network will detect each other immediately. So you'll start the game on your PC, you'll start the game on your tablet, and there will just be one button, you touch it, you're connected.
Brilliant, that sounds nice and simple, which is going to appeal to a lot of people. Walking away from scripted questions, what's your favourite part about the project so far?
It's doing things like this, and it's when people come over and they kind of see it for the first time, they go, that's a bit weird, and then they look at it a bit longer and they go, oh no, I get it now, and it's kind of a cool thing to do. It feels fun, fresh and new, and it's kind of seeing that in other people, because we've been kind of going on about this for a while and thinking this is a thing that we can do, but actually having other people come and kind of validate that by enjoying themselves playing it is really nice.
So the feedback's really important to you. Is it going to have a lot of sort of community-driven support, do you think? Or do you have like the final concept that you're working towards?
I hope so. As I say, we've got kind of a long process to go through, so we can hopefully build up a community of people who are interested in the game and who can kind of contribute to that process along the way. And also when it's out, one of the things we want to do is a kind of daily play where everyone gets the same rec, because all of the content's procedural, but we could give everybody the same rec on the same day and have leaderboards and have people kind of play that, have that same kind of shared experience, but individually.
With you just mentioned it was all sort of, or mostly procedural. Are you planning on introducing a story mode, or is it just a load of one-hit sort of missions?
The idea is that the story is kind of emergent within it. So as well as telling your own story and kind of building up this team of guys who you want to keep either for practical reasons because you've given them great weapons or they've built up a load of skills, also kind of for emotional reasons if you've given them a name and they kind of someone you care about and you don't want them to die. So it's got that kind of XCOM thing of kind of engaging with this kind of fictional world that you've created yourself. But also we want to put in these kind of story strands where you'll just kind of encounter some kind of information that will then lead on to a few kind of specific encounters as you go through. So there's a bit of narrative in there, but it's mostly about the player kind of creating their own.
I can really get behind that. I like the sound of that a lot. So, like you said, it was still early days. We're getting on with it. End of the year, possibly. I'm really excited about it, actually. It looks, like I said, even for just a well-polished vertical slice, it looks very smooth. It's very good. It's quite a large team, though. I mean, you said it was. I was told it was what, 18 or 12?
Yeah, it's 12.
12 members. It seems like quite a lot to throw onto a project at quite an early stage.
We kind of can only have got to where we have got because we're kind of big for an indie and small for a big company. We've kind of been able to be fairly agile about it and just use all of our collective skills that we've built up over the years to kind of do something kind of high end, I suppose, for this kind of market.
Well, that can only turn out to be a good thing. I think that's everything I was going to ask you, so why don't you give us a real good plug for the game and where we can see more about it?
Okay, so you can go to salvagedgame.com, you can follow us on Twitter at salvagedgame, and just check out. There's going to be loads of videos and new content and stuff going onto the website through the blogs, and there's kind of some character stuff on there as well, and it's really worth checking out because it'll tell you a lot more about the game. Thank you very much.
Brilliant, well, thank you. Well, if you've liked this video, as ever, I've been Rick. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/thekilobits, or on Twitter at thekilobits. There's a like and a subscribe right below the video. You know you want to press them, and hopefully I'll be talking to you guys again soon. Cheers.